sure that we are very thoughtful and methodical in the way that we roll this product out to make sure that we harness the full value. And by the time that we go to the broader market, we fully understand some of those subtleties. So we remain in very optimistic and are excited about it. We are going to be very measured in the way that we launch this. But like some of the survey work that you're seeing, we continue to get very good validation with the market research that we're running around sort of the opportunity for a differentiated long duration neuromodulator.
I'll ask you one question, which I think when I ask you, you're going to say, geez, I don't have one, but has there been any unique, really kind of differentiated, unique insight you've heard from any of the clinicians that are kind of, oh, wow, haven't thought of this as you think about DAXI? Or is it, at this point, I think we all are excited and understand the profile. It's been in development for a while. Is there kind of anything, any approach that you're hearing they would like you to take that's resonating with you as you do your kind of laying the foundation and have those interactions?
Well, there are a few things that come to mind, but I almost think that, given sort of the competitive dynamics, I'd like to kind of sit on those for now. But yeah, we're getting some really good feedback and input. We also know what sort of the counter detailing narrative is going to be around that. We feel really good about, what we've been able to glean from some of our field work and the marketplace and how we're going to position it. So
okay, I'll leave that there. It really is an interesting market where there's a true partnership that's unique and different than a lot of pharmaceutical products that exist here. So why don't we pivot over to the fillers? It's really allowed you to have interaction in a really comprehensive way before DAXI, and we never really thought we were going to be seeing you and this organization have kind of product offerings pre-DAXI. So you can talk about the fillers at this point. We see the revenue you're generating. Maybe talk about account penetration and maybe some of the groundwork it's allowed you to lay and some of the relationships that your sales force is able to engage in advance.
Yeah, so as you pointed out, we thought this was a really great strategic move for us last year. We were fortunate, frankly, that the RHA filler line was available for partnership, and it really aligned well with our timing in terms of our build out of our commercial infrastructure and sort of, the neuromodulator piece of it. And, we feel really good that we've got a range of products, a 2, a 3, and a 4. So it's not just a single product that's coming in. And we think it's going to partner really well with our neuromodulator because it's a premium product. We've been really encouraged and pleased with sort of the feedback that we've got. When we initially got into the market, we knew it was a great product, but we were a little worried, is it going to be more of a Me Too product? And because we've leaned in with this and really been able to focus on the fact that they do a really nice job of, in the manufacturing process, preserving the long chain RHA, the HA structure, that yields a little bit more of a natural result with still pretty good duration profile. So that's worked well. It's resonated well. It's allowed us, to your point, to lean in on the commercial side to start to build that foundation so that as we have other products, i.e. our neuromodulator, we've already sort of fostered a relationship. So on the account side of it, we talked about the fact at the end of Q4 that we were in roughly 1,000 accounts between both the RHA filler line and the HintMD platform. We have, again, continued to sort of reiterate that we're very focused on sort of the higher end of the food chain. We're going after those folks that we believe really want to focus on kind of a prestige category in their practice, where pricing, they want that flexibility to be able to choose what the price is without the market dictating it. So we continue to be very disciplined in the strategy. And I think the early success that we're having validates that. As you probably remember, again, we thought we would have the RHA line back in April of last year. COVID hit and we didn't get it till September. So, we're taking advantage of this extra time to lean in and make sure that we're getting sort of credit in the field for the performance of this product and how it's working. But it's early. It's too early to really know sort of reorder rates and stuff, given that we're one full quarter in, but we do like what we're seeing out there.
I was going to say that, I guess that would be the key number one metric is the reorder rates at this point. And so feedback on that program seems universally good. And then you've also have added HintMD, which is so far outside of the scope of anything that I typically understand that I admitted to you. Straight right off the bat, obviously not a software or services analyst and never covered it, but it does seem as we contemplate it, there's a lot of different within it pushes and pulls that I guess could help you further really deepen the relationship. So why don't you give us a little bit of the HintMD background and to what degree it can strengthen that interaction?
Yeah. So, if when we looked at kind of what sort of commercial presence do you want to have in facial injectables to be competitive? And obviously, we've got some very successful competitors in the space that, again, have laid sort of the path to, what works there. And I think that the successful companies have done a really good job of surrounding really good products with really good services offering. And most of the others have done the services around loyalty programs, discounting, and couponing. And so we felt to be competitive that we were going to need to have something along those lines as well. So one option was to do the Me Too, and the other option was let's do something a little bit more differentiated, and in our view, a little bit more forward leaning. And so that's where HintMD came in. Since it sits at the transaction, you are able to do credit card processing. You participate in some of the margin, which you then can either take as profit or reinvest it, give it back to the practice based on product purchases. But by sitting there in the transaction, you also get access to source level data that you can then use to help the practice become more profitable, do targeted marketing campaigns, turn on subscription services, white label loyalty, over time, maybe lending solutions. And so it's a platform that we are really excited about that we think partners really well with our products and is very aligned with what we're trying to be as a company, which is we want to be the partner of the practice. And whatever we can do to give them great products that they can offer to their patients to get great outcomes or be more profitable, and then what we can do on the services side to increase their patient retention, profitability, insights, and how to run a better product or practice, we think makes sense. So we're early in it. We're really encouraged by what we're seeing in terms of the increase in the overall transaction volume. This summer, we've talked about we'll become what's called a payment facilitator, which will give us sort of that last mile that we need to start turning on some of these other services. But we're really encouraged by what we're seeing there.
Okay, before we pivot in the last few minutes over to the therapeutic side, which we're underselling and it's
Right.
massive opportunity. We'll talk about it in a second. Just is there any other, should we have any expectations that there are other products out there for you to grab? It kind of surprised us that you were able to so strategically grab the fillers. And I know HintMD, there was you had some background there as well, but should we be thinking, or is this Daxi, that we have so much kind of wood to chop with Daxi that we should just be thinking, here is the portfolio at this point?
Yeah, I think that's probably the default and appropriate thinking that hey, we've rounded out the portfolio that we felt we needed in facial injectables, where we get the leverage and the synergy out of our Salesforce investment. And at this